Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3 and today we will be presenting our article review assignment entitled RDA Description of Electronic and Digital Resources in the Digital Library by Ariel Alejandro Gracia and Adriana Monroy Munas, published in 2015. Our group members are Aiman Hakim bin Aziz, Nur Fajrina Adewa binti Mazlan and Nur Hafiza Auni binti Mak Nasir.
Assalamualaikum. I will presenting our study on application of resource description and access, or RDA, specifically in describing digital photography as part of electronic resources in Malaysian digital libraries. So, in recent years, libraries around the world, including in Malaysia, have experienced a major shift from managing only printed materials to handling a wide range of digital and electronic content. So this includes digital photograph, ebooks, online journal, multimedia, and broad digital materials. These resources are now a vital part of academic report research and cultural preservation. However, this transformation also brings new challenges, especially in how we organize, describe, provide access to digital content. Traditional cataloging standards like AACR2, which were mainly designed for physical items, are no longer suitable for intangible or multi-format digital materials. So this is where RDA plays an important role. So RDA is a modern cataloging standard developed to provide a consistent and flexible way to describe all types of information resources regardless of their format. It is built on the FRBR model, which focuses on describing works, expression, manifestation, and items. This approach makes it easier for users to discover and understand resources, even when they exist in different form. Background of the study. In recent years, digital technology has changed the library's work in Malaysia. Libraries are no longer just places for printed books. They have become digital hubs that offer access to electronic resources such as ebook, online journal, digital images, and institutional repositories and multimedia. This transformation is clear in academic institutions like UiTM, University Malaya, and University Science Malaysia, where digital libraries are now support teaching, learning, and research activities. As the digital content grows and becomes more complex, traditional cataloging methods are no longer enough. These old methods focus mainly on physical items, which do not apply well to digital materials that can exist in many formats and access online. To solve this issue, many libraries have started using a newer cataloging standard called Resource Description and Access (RDA), which is suitable for both physical and digital content. So, RDA is based on a model called FRBR, which organizes information into four parts: work, expression, manifestation, and item, known as WEMI. So, this system allows cataloger to describe resources are more clearly and link related version together. In Malaysia, the use of RDA is slowly increasing in academic libraries, but it used for digital resources like digital photograph, which is still needs more attention and development. So, this study aims to explore and on how RDA can be used to describe digital photography in Malaysian digital libraries. Since digital photographs are now used for research, education, and cultural purposes, so they need to be properly organized and described. This research hopes to help Malaysian libraries improve how they manage digital photos by using international standard like RDA. We are focusing three main research objectives, which is to study the principle and structure RDA as applied to electronic digital resources. Second, to identify the core and optional RDA attributes relevant to describing digital photography. And lastly, to investigate the applicability of the RDA framework for organizing digital images in Malaysia digital library system. For the purpose of the study, the main purpose of this study is to explore how RDA can be applied to digital photography in Malaysia library context, as digital photographs are becoming more common in academic and cultural collection, as they need to be described properly to ensure they are easy to find, access, and preserve. This study also aims to support local librarians in aligning with the international standards while also addressing local cataloging needs by proposing a structured approach using RDA, which is we can improve metadata practices and enhance the overall effectiveness of digital library system in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fajrina Binti Mazlan. So I will present the hypothesis. The first hypothesis is RDA improves the representation of electronic resources. AACR2, as a rule set, was designed primarily for physical materials like books and maps. It doesn't capture the complex or intangible nature of digital formats very well. RDA, however, is designed with flexibility and structure that allows for precise distribution of digital content, including born digital and digitized resources. Next, we have this is number 2, which is RDA enhanced discoverability in digital libraries. RDA places strong emphasis on user tasks such as finding and identifying resources. It includes detailed metadata like format, filter, language, and date, which is making resources easier to locate and differentiate in digital environment. And the last one is RDA supports better interoperability, which is since RDA is based on international standards and structured metadata, it promotes consistency and data sharing between libraries and digital systems. This improves resources exchange, catalog integration, and discovery across platforms. Okay, next we move on to framework. The study used a framework based on FRBR, which is the functional requirement for bibliographic record models. It includes four key entities, which is work, the intellectual creation, expression, the version or realization, manifestation, the format or encoding, and the last one item, which is the actual digital file or copy. For example, in describing digital photograph, the study highlights metadata such as format, resolution, creator, subject, and system requirement. These are mapped according to RDA instruction using the FRBR model. And the framework also promotes integration with the semantic web using URIs and linked data principle. This allows metadata to connect with external systems, making records more discoverable, reusable, and interoperable. Okay, next we move to the methodology. The methodology of the study combines four main approaches. First one is qualitative content analysis. The authors conduct an in-depth review of how RDA is used to describe and structure metadata for electronic resources. They examine cataloging practice and interpret how metadata elements are applied using RDA. The second one is conceptual framework analysis, which is the study used the FRBR model with word expression, manifestation, and item, as I mentioned earlier, as a conceptual foundation for organizing metadata. This framework is applied to case examples such as digital photographs to demonstrate how RDA structures content more effectively. And the third one is comparison between RDA and AACR2, which is the study compares both standards, highlighting how RDA offers and support for evolving digital formats, where AACR2 falls short, particularly in representing intangible or non-physical resources. And the last one is semantic web and linked data integration. The study shows how RDA metadata can be linked using URIs to external systems following semantic web's principle. This enables richer, machine-readable data that is reusable and easily connected across digital platforms and institutions. To sum up, the transition from AACR2 to RDA represents a major improvement in how electronic resources are described and accessed. RDA structures and flexible framework enhance metadata representation, improve user discoverability, and supports interoperability across systems. So with the integration of conceptual models and semantic web technologies, this study demonstrates how RDA prepares libraries for a more connected and digital future. Thank you. Next person.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nora Fizauni binti Mak Nasir, and today I will presenting the result and the discussion of our articles. Our article focuses on how resource description and access or RDA can be applied to better describe and organize electronic resources, especially in digital libraries. So, for the result, the key finding of this study research is that RDA significantly improve how electronic resources are cataloged. Traditional cataloging tools like AACR2 were largely centered on the physical characteristic of items. But with the rise of digital resources like online image, video, and ebooks, there are need for new models that focuses on content and access. That's where RDA come in. RDA is built on the FRBR framework, which describes resources using four entities, which are words, expressions, manifestation, and items. The structure helps organize metadata in a more meaningful and user-friendly way. To demonstrate this, the authors use digital photography as an example. They show how a single photo can be described using detailed metadata. The title, various title, the creator names, the format like JPEGs, the date of the creation, and the system requirements. These kind of details, while often ignored in older systems, are crucial in helping users find, identify, and access resources accurately and efficiently. So another important result is that RDA supports interoperability with the semantic webs. This means libraries can connect their catalog to broader digital system using persistent identifier like URLs and URNs, making content easier to link, share, and discover online. So for the next is the discussion part. The authors explain that RDA represent a paradigm change. Instead of focusing on the physical containers of resources, RDA focuses on intellectual contents, which is much more relevant in a digital environment. This change better reflects on how users actually search for information today through keywords, character format, or digital identifier rather than physical location or item types. So the articles also point out that RDA offers greater flexibility for cataloger. It allows them to use their professional judgment when choosing which metadata to include, adapting the process based on local needs, institutional priorities, or user communities. So this flexibility is powerful, but it also highlights a challenge like librarians must be trained to understand and apply the RDA model effectively. Even those not directly involved in cataloging will interact with RDA-based system through digital library interface. Therefore, professional development is essential to ensure effective metadata creation and user services. So, the authors also argue that RDA is more than a new tool. It's a strategic upgrade that prepares libraries for the future by improving metadata qualities, supporting user discovery, and enabling cross-platform interoperability. RDA enhance both the organization and usability of digital collection. So, as we can see, the articles provide strong evidence that RDA offer a more effective and user-focused approach to cataloging digital resources. It supports better discovery, rich metadata, and greater compatibility with modern technology, all of which are essential for the ongoing developments of digital library.
In conclusion, the adoption of RDA in Malaysia libraries is necessary to step up in order to keep up with the digital transformation. Traditional cataloging methods are no longer enough to handle the complexity of electronic resources. RDA offers a modern and structured framework that improves resource discovery, metadata quality, and interoperability. So this study have shown how digital photograph as one form of electronic resource, which is can benefit from being described using RDA attributes, So, in moving forward, the collaboration, training, and system upgrades will be crucial to fully implement RDA in Malaysian libraries. With a proper support, Malaysian libraries can lead the way in digital resource management across the region.
I think that's all from our group. Thank you.
Okay, now we start our Q&A session. I have a question, which is, how does the RDA model improve the discoverability of electronic resources compared to traditional cataloging system like AACR2R?
Thank you for the question. So, RDA improve discoverability by focusing on the contents and relationship of resources rather than just their physical format. It used the FRPR model, which includes word expression, manifestation, and item, to describe electronic resources in a structured and meaningful way. This allows for richer metadata such as file format, character, access date, and link to the semantic web through persistent identifier like URLs. So, as a result, user can locate and access digital resources more effectively in online catalog and digital libraries.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
I have a question. Why does the study integrate semantic web technologies into the RDA-based cataloging of electronic resources?
Okay, the answer is the study integrates semantic web technologies such as Uniform Resource Identifier URIS to connect metadata with external web-based systems. This allows the electronic resource metadata to be more discoverable, usable, and interoperable across different platforms. So, by applying linked data principles, the metadata can actively interact with other data sources, supporting a more connected and user-friendly digital library environment.
Next question is, how is RDA more effective than traditional cataloging methods like AACR2 when it comes to describing digital resources such as digital photography?
Okay, RDA is more effective than AACR2 because it is designed to handle both physical and digital formats using a flexible, structured approach. It is based on the FRPR model, which allows catalogers to describe a resource through four entities: work, expression, manifestation, and item, which is WE and I. This helps capture the full context of a digital resource, including its origins, format, and relationships with other versions. For digital photography, RDA provides specific attributes like encoding format, access method, and metadata, making it the resources easier to discover, manage, and preserve in the digital library systems.
Okay, next question is, what are the broader implications of adopting RDA for Malaysian libraries and catalogers?
Okay, for adapting resource description and access, which is RDA, in Malaysian libraries carry significant implications for both the operational capacity of libraries and the professional development of catalogers. Firstly, it reflects the strategic alignment with international cataloging standards, which is essential in today's digital and interconnected information landscape. By using RDA, Malaysian libraries can ensure interoperability and metadata consistency ecosystem, and enhancing their ability to participate in global bibliographic networks and share digital resources effectively with other institutions. And from a practical standpoint, the use of RDA enables more accurate and structured description of electronic resources, including complex digital formats like photographs, ebooks, and multimedia. So this contributes to improved discoverability for users, better support for linked data application, and more sustainable long-term digital preservation strategies. So the emphasis on the WEMI model helps catalogers represent the intellectual and physical layers of digital content with greater clarity. However, transitioning to audio also presents several challenges and institutional responsibility. Okay, next question. Okay, next question is, in what ways does RDA reflect a shift in cataloging philosophy, and what are the implications for library professionals and digital libraries?
Thank you for the question. So the answer is RDA, which are resources, description, and access, represent a significant shift in cataloging philosophy by moving away from the traditional format-focused approach of AACRP towards a content and user-oriented model. Rather than concentrating solely on the physical characteristic of library material, RDA emphasizes the intellectual and the relational aspect of resources. These changes align with how users interact with digital content in today's online environments by searching the character, subject, file type, or access link, rather than by physical location or format. And the use of the FRPR framework that comprising words, expression, manifestation, and item that allows for a more nuanced representation of digital and electronic resources. So, for the example, a single digital photograph can have multiple expression or formats, and RDA accommodates this distinction within its descriptive structure. So this enables greater precision and interoperability in metadata, supporting resources discovery across platforms and systems, especially in digital library. So for the second question, for library professionals, this philosophical shift has important implications. It requires them to adapt their cataloging skills, becoming proficient not only in using RPA, but also in understanding how metadata functions within linked data environment and the semantic web. Even non-cataloging librarians must be familiar with how metadata is presented and used in digital services. Therefore, ongoing training and professional development are essential to ensure that library staff can fully support user needs and institutional goals in a digital context. Moreover, RDA flexibility allows institutions to customize metadata practices based on local priorities, which enhance relevance and user satisfaction. However, this adaptability also means that clear guidelines and collaboration are needed to maintain consistency and quality across shared cataloging systems. So, RDA not only modernizes technical cataloging but also reinforces the evolving roles of libraries in facilitating digital access, discovery, and knowledge sharing. Okay, that's all from our group.